Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Yeet here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm coming at you with my sitting right now. I've been doing testing on everything right now, and I'm coming at you with my most competitive deck for the Infinite Forbidden. Post Infinite Forbidden. This deck is and I will go out there and I'm making a bold statement right now. This is the best Tenpai list post Infinite Forbidden. And I'll go ahead and put that out there right now. I have done over 100 test hands with this deck to make sure that I liked the ratios. And after, basically, when I first started, it was doing it like, each time I made a different version, I was doing like out of 8. And the lowest I got it down to was 1 out of every 8 hands was dead. And that's how I ended up with this version. This version right here is cracked. There's everything I need in this deck. It's got a mix of hand traps, board breakers. Oh my god, it does so much. And I can't wait to get into this deck profile for you guys. I have so many decks to showcase you guys for post Infinite Forbidden. I just updated Ragnarika. I'm now showcasing you my ultimate one, my most competitive one. Then I got Mimigul on the way and Centurion Whitewoods. Once I find my last, get a copy of the last witch I need for that one. What else do I got coming the way? Updated Plunder Patrol. And definitely a lot more coming your way. Maybe I even get my hands on a hold of pure Whitewoods. But we'll see. Like I said, though, there's so much that got coming your way, and I got so much to talk about in this deck. I'm not going to go through combos for Tenpais. I've watched I've watched every single video, DB match of Tenpai out there. I've studied the lines. I've studied different deck builds. And I'm going to talk about why I ended up on these specific ones. But there's no way I'm going to go through all the effects, because everybody should know what these cards do, as it is probably actually one, aside from your Trident Dragon that you've got to borrow from your friend, or you sell some of your other cards and buy one yourself. This is, you'll have access to literally the rest of the deck for under $100 easily. Alright, let's cook. You guys going to enjoy the video? Like and subscribe. Then you guys can debate whether or not this is the best Tenpai build or not. But no one is changing my mind on it, because I have not lost a Tenpai mirror match yet with this build. So let's get into it. Starting off for the main deck monsters. 3 copies of Tenpai Dragon Pydra. This is staple. Every Tenpai list plays 3. Again, I'm not going to bother explaining to you what they do. You guys should be able to figure them out yourself. The combo lines, I like to keep to myself because, well, first off, there's the ones I know that everybody knows, and then there's the ones that I know because of this build that differentiates from every other build, which is what makes this deck better than my build. Which makes this deck better than any other build. Excuse me. Just started my own words. Anyways, 3 Pydra. 3 Chandra. And then the one that everyone debates about, Fadra, which is 2 of. It's not a 1 of, it's a 2 of. I've played it at 1 in different builds, and I always end up missing the second one. And I feel like the second one comes up more than what people think, and if I really am like okay with getting rid of it, then I will side out the 1. But for the time being, I at least starting off with 2, especially if I'm going first, because sometimes the extra Fadra will come up for helping me make seals if I'm going first, or it helps me make one of my other starters, which again, my other going first cards, which again is something I do that I only seen one other person do, but he does it a little bit differently. Next up, the new monster that we got out of Infinite Forbidden, Tenpai Dragon Genroku, and the one card, and I'm going to showcase you guys this. I pulled this out of 1 box. I had opened 1 box of Infinite Forbidden. The rest of it I bought. Whatever I needed. That's why I don't have access to the entire White Witch deck yet. But, yep. QCR, baby, Genroku. I opened this myself. I know this card is muchacho expensive, like rather than 120 right now, but I'm not getting rid of it. This card, oh my god, it's so freaking clean, dude. That shine, that glow. You can see the 25 down there. Oh my goodness gracious. My hands were shaking when I pulled that. I'm never getting rid of this thing. One copy of Dora Dora, common from the new set. This is in here to search this. Sometimes this can be used as a different, this card itself is a 1-card starter, but it's a terrible starter because it can easily get impermed, Ash, or anything else. And we don't play Cross-Out Designator. And you don't need Cross-Out Designator for this deck because you should be able to power through pretty much everything. Going first, you're pretty much setting up your standard plays with or without some additional spice or some slight changes. But again, you guys can figure this out for yourself. One copy of Blaster, Dragon Ruler, and Infernos. I've liked playing this version, especially with what I'm trying to do with this build. This card comes up more than I expected. And also, do you know if you can summon this card off of Senhan Gaiman? If you add, say you add getting Roku to the hand off of that Kaiman, you can special summon the Blaster from your hand, and then Kaiman effect will summon itself. Imagine that. So yeah, anyway, one Blaster, Dragon Ruler, and Infernos. We are playing the gold. Well, this card comes up a lot more, especially with how I'm playing this build. One copy of Kashtira Fenrir. People are playing usually 3 Kashtira Fenrir. Instead of playing 3 Kashtira Fenrir, I went 1 Kashtira Fenrir, replaced one of Fenrir with Blaster, Dragon Ruler, Infernos, and swapped out a Fenrir for a Unicorn. Unicorn is actually insane right now. Being able to, I find the Unicorn being able to banish one from the extra deck just as evenly as powerful as Fenrir is. Being able to rip out if you're in the mirror match, you rip out that Trident Dragon from their extra deck. You rip out, and because no one will play 2 Trident Dragons, because everyone only has 1 Trident Dragon. You rip out that Trident Dragon. You rip out their Transcendent Dragon. Just start ripping out their extra deck. It's so good. And in any other matchup, you just hit what you're afraid of most. It shouldn't be actually that hard. Honestly, I'm just surprised that people just let... Everyone knows the 4-card Kashtira engine. It doesn't hurt this deck. Actually, it makes this deck better. Hand traps. Only 4 hand traps. I know that sounds weird. 2 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. Don't worry. It's going to make sense. I opted to play 7 hand trap-like cards, 4 monsters, 3 traps in the form of infinite impermanence, which I'll just show now. And then the rest of them is board breakers for 7 board breakers. So it's 7 and 7. That's just how I made this work. 2 Ash Blossom. The other hand trap we're playing is Dimension Shifter, arguably the best hand trap in the entire format right now. Like I said, the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Now I'm just going to move these to the side and get off to the rest of the supporting engine, the rest of the deck. Alright, off to the spells now. We have our field spells in the form of 3 copies of Sangen Summoning. This is your Tenpai one. Also a good starter. Yeah. You could add any fire dragon monster you want. This affects all fire dragons. So if you have your blaster in your field, don't worry, it's also protected. We are playing another field spell though, aside from Sangen Summoning. Shock and Shock Surprise, I'm talking about Wraithsoft, obviously, because we have our Kashtira. This card's actually pretty nice. Instead of going for... If I don't have access to Sangen Summoning, which sometimes will happen, or sometimes you need to search something else off of Prosperity, even you have Wraithsoft already on the board, don't worry. That's just as fine, because you have gaining 100 attack points for each different attribute on the field. Your Tenpais could potentially be huge. And then, of course, to search it out, we are playing still the 1 copy of Terraforming. Then we have our supporting spells. 3 copies of Sangen Kaiman for the Tenpai engine. Just being able to add one level 4 lower fire dragon from your hand, and then being able to special one from your hand. Like I said, you could summon your Blaster Dragon Rule of Infernos with this effect during the battle phase. You just can't add it to the hand. Then also another supporting spell we have is Kashtira Birth. This is for the Kashtira engine, 4-card Kashtira engine. And 1 copy of Goldsark. The Goldsark is here to banish your copy of Blaster Dragon Rule of Infernos. And when Blaster Dragon Rule of Infernos is banished, you can add any fire dragon you want from your deck to your hand. So essentially, you're searching out your Pydra, Chandra, Fundra. You can even search out Genroku and then special summon Genroku. This card is actually a really good 1-card starter. That's it for the field spells and supporting spells. Onto the board breakers. We have 2 copies of Lightning Storm, only play at 2. 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster to clear out pesky back row. And then the 1 card that will surprise the heck out of everybody. 3 copies of Super Polymerization. We are playing Super Polymerization in a Tenpai deck. I know jaws are dropping to the floor right now and head is being scratched, but everybody think about it. Super Polymerization is one of the best board breakers in the game right now. You don't lock yourself in a draft. You could do this at the start of your turn going second. If you're going first, it's another interruption you have set. I don't know why people have to hard think on this card. This card is actually really freaking good right now. If you're playing in the mirror match, sure, you have access to Garua. Nice getting rid of their cards. You can get rid of their Mud. You have Mud Dragon access to. Like, it's actually not terrible. Currently still looking for 1 fusion. I'm hoping there's a good fusion monster out there, and I'm probably just missing it right now. For one that you can summon that's a dragon for Super Polymerization. I considered the new Light and Darkness dragon, but then I would have to add all that other stuff into the deck, and then I tried that too, but it just didn't work. So I still ended up on 3 fusion monsters though, but I feel like the 3rd fusion monster doesn't come up as much, but the main two would normally do. Then I'm on only 2 copies of Pot of Prosperity. I like 2 over 3. I just wanted to make this a clean 40. I just cut out 1 copy of Prosperity at the end just to make this all work. Simple as that. And then the last card is another new card we got from Infinite Forbidden, and that is the 1 copy of Sangen Kaiho. This card's actually slept on, I think. Having this card is another card you can do going first. Like, you open up Hydra, instead of searching out any of the other 2 you would have going first, you could search this out, set it, and yeah. You're basically forcing your opponent to end their main phase first thing. So, unless they normal summon something over 1700, you don't trigger this. But if they normal summon something less than 1700, nice knowing you. I'll go Sengen Kaiho. And then this card will set you up going second. Because if 3 or more attacks have been declared this turn, banish this card from your graveyard, draw 1 card, then special summon any number of 10 Dragon monsters from your hand, which is actually insane. That's literally it for the main deck, guys. 40-card main deck. Literally clean 40. Deck's so good. Extra deck. Most of this is going to be straightforward. 1 copy of Transcendent Dragon. My copy of Trident Dragon, which I had to sell my Phantom of Yubels, and Nightmare Thrones. My 2 of each to get this card. This is also going to never be getting rid of because, as you know, I'm a very huge Edison player. So this is now nice that I have to add this to my Edison collection as well. So yes. That's it for the level 10 synchros. Actually, I was playing Rudy Rose at one point, but because we are now main decking Dimension Shifter, I no longer have need for that card. And you could technically still play the regular Black Rose Dragon. However, I just think that the rest of what I'm doing is more relevant. 2 copies of San Genpai Bident, because 2 is what you need. Sometimes I don't even use the effect to special summon 1 from the graveyard, because I'll just do this. And then if I know I can't OTK through there, or I'm going first, I make this with the Kashtira overlay, make my Xyz monster, which I'll show later, and just sit on that. Then we have Odd-Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon, Samurai Destroyer for Yubel matchups, and other pesky matchups that we have. This you could replace with your Black Rose Dragon if you really want to. I feel like I need Samurai Destroyer more than I need Black Rose Dragon, and that's again through testing and seeing everything else a lot of times. Then we have our links, which is starting off with Amphibious Swarmship Embo Whale, Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames, Hilta the Fire Flame Charmer Ablaze, Seals, and your one copy of Striker Dragon. This is all the link monsters you need. I know Amphibious Blowship Embo Whale is in here over Zelantis and your copy of Salmon Great Raging Phoenix. But the reason why I decided to do this instead of that is because you're not playing Nightmare Phoenix in this deck, and it's too hard to do that. I found this to be way more better because I end on this, Promethean in the graveyard, Promethean pop this, pop that, and then you can trigger the Amphibious Swarmship Emblem Whales effect, summon back your Seals if it's in the graveyard, and you probably will have it in the graveyard at some point. I feel like it comes up way more. And then our 3 fusion monsters, the one that I feel like doesn't come up as much, but I still play it because it could, is one copy of Predaplant Dracostapelia. Then, of course, the main 2, Garua, Mud Dragon, and then the one Xyz monster that actually came out of Terminal Revenge. It's another new one. One copy of Blaze, Supreme Ruler of all Dragons. Blaze is a really good card. Being a fire dragon is also just a bonus. Basically says once per turn you can detach 1 material from this card, destroy 2 cards, 1 from your hand or field, and 1 your opponent controls. You can banish a total of 2 fire and or dragon monsters from your hand or graveyard, special summon this card from your graveyard, but return to the extra deck when it leaves the field. You can only use each effect of Blaze, Supreme Ruler of all dragons once per turn. Pretty straightforward. I love it. Good for removal, spot removal, everything. Extra deck. Clean extra deck. Your 3rd copy of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. 2 copies of Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill. 2 copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Again, another arguably very good hand trap this format. 2 copies of DD Crow. If you know the deck is only just gonna the opponent is only gonna benefit, or it's a deck that can easily play around Shifter, side out the shifters. While you can play around Shifter yourself, some people can't. Like, some people just thrive with Shifter out. I'm talking about stuff like Ritual Beasts, Bestial Magma Hut, Druid Worm, the only 2 Bestials you need. 2 copies of Droplet, extra added Board Breaker. 2 copies of Synchro Zone. Synchro Zone being in one of the decks cards you can easily play around. But guess what? If you know your opponent is playing a deck that's going to make you literally go first, you side this in, you're golden. Then another Board Breaker card. This one also came out of Infinite Forbidden. 1 copy of Vesper Gearsu. Vesper Gearsu is another great card. If you're going second, it's damn real good. And also, it just says 2 or more monsters than you do. So if you only have your 1 Tenpai and then you set Gearsu, just go ahead and activate Gearsu when they have the 2 or more than you do. And then when playing another fusion monster, this is only specifically for the Yubel matchup, and that's just 1 copy of Yubel, the Loving Defender Forever. That's the deck profile, guys. It's not that complicated, but it took me a long time to put this build together. After watching so many different videos, different deck profiles, studying the different combo lines, learning about the new cards, and then how I wanted to incorporate the new cards into this build. This is the list that I came up with. It is the best Tenpai Dragon build for Infinite Forbidden. And I can go ahead and attest to it. It is really good. Like, I don't need to show you guys how to play this deck. Tenpai Dragon is just insane in general. Everyone pretty much knows what it does by now. So yeah, Tenpai Dragon is, aside, if you're not a broke person, I'd say a semi-broke person like myself, who can only afford probably the 2nd best deck in the format right now, which is this, and you're not going to drop like $500 to get the Fiendsmith stuff, or play Yubel, Snake Eye, Fiendsmith. Well, none of that junk. You're playing this deck, and this is the best version of that deck out there right now. This is your boy signing out. There's not much I can say about this deck. This deck is just absolutely insane. I'm signing out. I'm speechless. This deck is... I keep staring at my Genroku and I keep losing my words. Yeah. Peace out, guys.